Hi guys, and welcome back to the Red Mist podcast with me, Seshadri, and welcome to part 2 of the post-Fulham, post-Leipzig double game week episode. In part 1, we covered a lot of topics. We covered Bobby Firmino, we covered Ozan Kabak, we covered the centre-back situation, the games itself against Fulham, the 1-0 loss, and then the 2-0 win against Leipzig. So we covered a lot of stuff. Now, in this second part, I can promise you there's going to be some intense debating going on between my two guests, Arvind and Adithya. But before you check out part 2, if you've missed part 1, do check that one out before you listen to this one. Otherwise, you'll have a little bit of you'll be lost a little bit in case you don't. But this episode promises to be an absolute cracker of an episode, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as I did listening to them talk about whatever we're going to talk about. I'm going to keep that a little bit of a suspense for the next 30 seconds. But that is going to do it from my side for the intro to this part, and I will see you guys on the other side. We've had Leipzig, we've had Fulham, and right now, obviously, Klopp's never going to come out and say this, but I think the Champions League has become his priority, whether by choice or by circumstance, it has become his priority. And, there's been some sections of Twitter who've been saying hashtag Klopp out. Where do you
the
guys...
front runner of it.
Yeah. No, Arvind, we'll start with you. So you're in the Klopp out camp, if I'm not wrong. Do you think it's time for him to go? Do you think people have figured out, okay, this is how Klopp plays, this is what he's going to do game to game, and so, I can easily counter what he does?
I think I'm not completely Klopp out, but I feel there is parts of him that irritates me a lot during a lot of games. Like, he's so stubborn with his lineup. He doesn't change it. He ever since that Atletico, or famously that Man United kid sent a letter, ever since that Atletico away game at Wanda, I think we have won only 3 consecutive Premier League games once. Ever since that, it's been more than a year since we've won 4 consecutive Premier League games, or we've won 2 times where we won 3 consecutive Premier League games. We have only once. That was at the start of the season, and this has been case for more than a year. Even when our squad was fit, and when our squad had so many injuries as well, I think he needs to change some parts of his game. He can't always be stubborn and start the same 4-3-3 lineup, and he needs to change something at least, so that it changes from the same dull performance that we see week in and week out. I think the 2 years of really good football and we kept on winning games for a lot of for the 1.5 years, 2 years. I think they found out some fault in it where the opponents can use it, and they've countered that, used that deep block 4-4-2, which most of the teams did at the end of the last season, worked really well against us. But Klopp did nothing against those teams that played a 4-4-2 and did a very deep block. And his use of midfielders is also very annoying. If you see his treatment of Naby Keita, he hasn't been played in his best position for most of his time at Liverpool. He's always looked really good in the left part of the midfield in his 4-3-3. But in the start of his Liverpool career, if you see, we suddenly switched to a 4-2-3-1 where he played Keita as a left winger in a 4-2-3-1, and he always plays on the right-hand side of the midfield where he isn't comfortable. And also Wijnaldum, who's really good at going forward and staying in the box, coming up with those goals. He's made Wijnaldum fall behind and cover the ball rather than Keita or Thiago doing it. And I feel he's very stubborn, even with the high line. I feel against the game against Fulham, I'm seeing Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. You have no pace inside Fulham's half. What if one long ball, they'll easily run away. And the game against, we have also become so predictive, I feel, the last few games. I think it's because of injuries as well. But we've become so predictive that Tuchel has come out and said, I'm going to use Werner because they're going to play a high line, and he's fast, he'll score goals. We've become so predictive that managers come out and say, we're just going to do this before the game itself. So I think he needs to pattern up a bit. And also, being 8th in the league and having so much security in his work is not so good. If this was Roy Hodgson, we'd be asking him to go out. I'm not completely Klopp out at the moment, but he should have at least some sort of like.
AG,
You saw Mourinho. One
look
second,
at
give
your
me a.
comparison. No, 1 second. You're saying if it was Roy Hodgson, you're going to send him out. Obviously, that's Roy Hodgson, and you're talking about Klopp. How does that even make sense in the first place? How do you
No,
put
he
both of them
needs
in
to
the same
have like
sentence?
some pressure from the board at least. Like, see,
How do you
Ole,
think he's going to
every
have the
time,
pressure?
every
No.
time,
I'll tell you something.
give me a minute. Every time, this just like I wanted some pressure at least from the board, because every time I saw Ole Gunnar or Mourinho having some pressure for the board this season, Mourinho had, he said there was pressure from the board saying if he doesn't change his results, he's going to get sacked. Now they're on a 3 or 4 game winning run. You see Ole Gunnar, every time he's about to get the sack, they start winning. It's just a dream of mine to at least
how do
have
you
some pressure so that
AG, how
at
do you
least that would
expect
change our.
someone? No. How do you expect someone to pressurize a guy who's just won the Champions League and Premier League in like 12 months
That,
span and is having the biggest of injuries? How do you think anyone can put pressure on him in the very first place? My
bro,
question
it's
to you is
not
that.
just now. It's been going on for a year.
What has
More
been
than a
going on
year,
for the
we
year?
haven't won 4 games in a row.
More than 1 year because like what more than a year is like okay, let me just put this for you. The one thing is there's COVID and like after like 4 months we resumed playing this game, okay, and we won the league. And bro, trust me, 30 years after that we are winning the league, and it was clearly visible that Virgil was just chilling after winning the league, bro. We saw him do a lot of mistakes, and I'm obviously not going to sit and judge our players' playing ability after winning the league after 30 years. First thing. Second of all, we started the season well, and you have a list of injuries. And what happens is you make the other players play out of position because you didn't have a choice of signing a player, and this has this domino effect of us not playing our best players in their best position. And this is what's been happening. Like
Yes, if
Fabinho's
that doesn't work, see, he's been playing Wijnaldum and Thiago again and again and again and again. If that doesn't work, change something. Like he changed
who's
something
there to
against
change?
Sheffield. He changed
The
something
only thing
against
that's there to
Sheffield
change
and
is
it
James
worked.
Milner coming in for you.
No, wait.
Or
I'm not asking him to put in new players. At least change how we play. Like he changed something against Sheffield. It was a strict 4-3-3 that we always follow. He changed something against Sheffield and they were caught off guard and we started creating so many chances. They obviously, Chris Wilder would have prepared for a strict 4-3-3 that we always follow. We changed. We put Thiago and Wijnaldum in a double pivot and we gave Wijnaldum more freedom to go forward, and that completely put them off guard. So I'm at least asking for him to do some changes. Like if it isn't working, it's clearly isn't working. He has to make some changes. Now we brought in Fabinho as a DM back to his whatever we used to do as a 4-3-3, and it has worked well again. But yeah, I think he needs to have he shouldn't have so much job security. What I feel all Liverpool managers in the
So
future,
Aditya,
Only
see,
not just
building
Klopp.
on Aditya, just building on what Arvind just said, I'm just going to throw this out there. If this was any other manager, let's not look at it because of the fact that he's won he's won 2 trophies. We're judging this season for this season, and I agree with injuries and everything. But despite that, we had a very good run to start the season. We were top of the table in December, and what I will say is this run of form since then, since the Crystal Palace game, this is like what Arteta had at Arsenal, and people were questioning whether he should stay in that job. So, my thing to you is, why should we not question
yes,
Jurgen Klopp just because he has won 2 trophies?
Session, tell you something. First of all, you don't question him because you bring in the names like done Jose Mourinho in 2021. First of all, okay, Jose Mourinho, Arteta, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whoever the thing is, bro. I'm telling you, they haven't done anything. Okay, and I'm telling you something. Being like since we all work, I'm telling you, you've done 2 consecutive years. You do really well, and since now you're having a bad phase, really think it's good for you to now question your job security. It doesn't make sense. What has Jose Mourinho done, bro? He was backed he was backed by his club. He did all that he could. He's not able to do what they are expecting him to do. What is with Ole? Ole finished in Champions League, got crashed out of Champions League now. He's gone back to Europa League. Are they really getting results out of what was given to him? No. So obviously they are going to question someone like Arteta or Jose Mourinho or like say who Ole Gunnar. Okay. How do you question someone who's done like who's won the Champions League and Premier League back to back in 12 months, which has not been done. Like, who's the only other manager to win the Premier League and Champions League over here in England? It's only Ferguson, I think. I'm not saying that as a compare. Only thing is, it's not easy. We came off from 196 big points. Even Pep Guardiola dipped for a bit after doing what, 98 points and 100 points. He also dipped. It is natural for teams to dip, and we are in a COVID infected world right now, where these guys go off to international duties. You'll never know from where they're catching what and all. And we have had our own share of problems. We have had our best player going being out for the entire season. 23 days later, you lose another centre back. Then you have Thiago who's got COVID. You have Sadio Mane who's got COVID. You have Tsimikas who's got COVID. We have had problems at every week in and week out. We have had some sort of problems. And after accomplishing everything over these last 2 years, how do you expect me to question his job security? He's obviously
you need to question him. This is relegation form.
What is relegation? Because you don't have players. Our players have missed 155 games, Ajit.
Even with our injuries, our team is far better than what David Moyes' West Ham has, and they have performed better. That's what I'm saying.
See,
even with our injuries,
question
you can't be eighth. You can't be eighth in the league.
I'll tell you something. See, you signed Thiago. Okay, so Thiago comes back from a very hectic season. He wins the Champions League. Then he comes to a new career over here in England, which is a completely new challenge. As he's getting set, your main players get injured. You tend to change the system a little bit, like playing your best players out of position. And then he gets COVID, and then he gets injured for 3 months. He's going to take time to adjust to the new system and everything. That's with Thiago. Okay. And then we haven't been playing our best 11 at all, no, this entire season. Tell me one game that we played our best 11. I think it is only the Chelsea game. If I'm
Bro, you can't say if we're not playing our best 11, we can't play well. That shouldn't be the case. You should have a plan B. That's what a manager should do. That's what a manager should have.
I'll tell you something.
We already had warning signs in the second game of the. We already had warning signs in the second game of the season against Chelsea. Both Joel Matip and Joe Gomez were injured, and Fabinho played centre back. We clearly knew. Klopp should have clearly known that
what I'm saying,
these both are very injury prone. One small injury to Virgil, and we are out. In the fifth game of the season, we knew we are going to play players out of position. From October, he should have come up with a plan. He doesn't have a plan B. What did he do from October?
What plans can he come? I'll tell you something, okay? You're telling Virgil was out of the season. Fair enough. Okay. Joe Gomez, 23 days again went out of the season. Fair enough. 6 years Klopp is at this club. This is the first time I literally saw him coming out and saying, bro, he's clueless with transfers. And I'm telling you, this was something at owner's fault of not providing with a big centre back on January 1st.
It's also down to Klopp backing these owners. He should have called them out long before. He should have called them out 2 years ago when he signed Adrian
to call them out
and Sepp Vandenberg when he won the Champions League. How can you win the Champions League and accept signing Adrian and Sepp Vandenberg?
You won the Premier League. You won the Premier League post that in a stunning fashion.
Okay.
We won it,
yes,
or
we
not?
Did.
No, I'm telling you something. We won it. Okay. And after that, we did a good job last season by sending Thiago and Jota and Tsimikas. And fourth choice centre back. And at that time, it did feel like if it was Thiago or a fourth choice centre back, like how the noise was going around. Because
it shouldn't be it's also down to the owner. It shouldn't be an or. It should be.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm completely agreeing with you that someone like Liverpool FC, it should have never been a case of Thiago or a fourth choice centre back. It should have ideally been both. But now let's talk reality. It wasn't the case. Okay, it's an onus. We prioritize Thiago. Okay, and no club, no organization, in the company can prepare for the worst situation. Like you're going to have all your centre backs out within the first 2 weeks. Now that happened. Okay. Now, ideally, the owner should have landed a centre back on January 1st. Okay. The only mistake that Klopp did, which I'm against even till this second, was playing Diego Jota in that fuck all game. That is a mistake. Call him out. I'm not complaining. Call him out for this useless substitutes that he did against Chelsea. I am not complaining at all. Yeah, he's no god. I'm accepting that. Okay. He's also human. He can also do mistakes. For his mistakes, call him out. But then I really cannot understand the point of you guys are questioning the job security that he's having. He's obviously going to have the job security is what I'm saying. If it was a completely normal season, we had our players fit, and if he wasn't delivering the results after getting the decent backing of Thiago, Jota and Tsimikas, yeah, you could have questioned him. I wouldn't really complain, but then bro, injuries left, right, and center, bro.
But still, eighth in the league is questionable, and relegation
really
form since since we went top, we've been having that relegation form. That is at least
that's
questionable.
one thing that I'll blame
We have to start questioning him.
Questioning on certain aspects is fine, but you're questioning his place at the club. That is not right, is what I'm saying. You question his thing. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you this. Okay, the one thing what happened was the front three became tired. They were starting all these games after Crystal Palace. We needed another cutting edge, another attacker coming in and changing a little bit of things. We didn't have that because of Klopp. 100% I'm agreeing with you that he messed up big time for the 2 points on 5 million. Okay, that we were supposed to get to again by beating that midget land or whatever the club's called. Okay, so that is something I'm fully blaming on Klopp. I'm 100% blaming it on Klopp that he should have never done that for the 2.5 million or whatever that was. Okay, yeah, that really affected our season. I feel like at times defense wasn't really that much of an issue. Sometimes it didn't really feel like an issue because we weren't even scoring. That is Klopp's mistake. That's fine. Question that aspect. Not even going to fight against that. If question why Klopp had to play Diogo Jota for one entire 90 odd minutes in a useless game. Okay. Question is substitutes on certain occasions. Question is lineup fine. But then it's only those 1 or 2 instances where he's messed up. It has affected us this season. Correct. But then questioning his existence at the club and questioning like how can he have that job security is really making no sense, bro. And you're comparing someone with Jose Mourinho, who's somewhere below 10th position or something, who's in Europa League, who's not done well even in the domestic cups. And then there is Mikel Arteta. I don't know where they're what, below 12 or something. I have
Jose
no clue.
has done pretty well in the domestic cups and he's above us as well. But
like you're going to care about the energy drinks cup and you're going to next cup. Come on.
Like bro. What I'm saying is, it's just like if he has some pressure, at least I think he might start changing. He might not be as stubborn as he is. Like if he's being pressured into like he has to start delivering results. At least like this is just my dream. At least whatever I see when managers are pressured. Wait, give me a minute. If managers are pressured, you can see them changing something and like since they were pressured, Mourinho brought in Bale and Ali into the team, and something is changed. Like at least if he's pressured, I feel he might change from his stubborn 4-3-3 that he always plays and changes something at least, or else he keeps trying the same lineup with the same players. That's why I feel he needs to be at least pressurized from his job. And being eighth is at least questioning him for being eighth is not something very absurd. You're eighth in the league. That too with a club like Liverpool, being eighth in the league is not something normal. It's not normal. Even if any manager who's eighth in the league with Liverpool, will start questioning him. He's not just in any other manager I know. He's won us the Champions League. He's won us the Premier League. I have the utmost respect for Klopp.
Cut him some slack is what my point is. That's my only point. My only point is cut him some slack. See, like my only thing is we didn't have these injuries and we were eighth. Question him, bro. I'm not even like going to come up against him. But then we have had an insane period, bro, and be it even his personal life, what's happening to him. Let me come to that point as well. See, to put up with all of that in this sort of a situation and still like, okay, to be like at least to the outside media, still being sane and still giving us that confidence that we can still go, I think that's what he can do maximum. Okay. And I can only be happy that, okay, we are still not far away from top four. Okay, it might look like a pipe dream. But then there's always these Leicester and all that who can always bottle because it's Brendan Rodgers. But then my only thing is cut him some slack for this season is what I'm saying. If it was any other season, it's fine. But it's already a COVID-infected season. We don't have the fans. And our football banks on fans, bro. Like, yeah, you can now bring up saying City. Yeah, bro, they are like, okay, yeah, each team to its own. But then like for us, it's always been that without fans, we really struggle. Sometimes the 12th man factor is very important. No. And for us, it's even more important. It's always been the case. Bro, 4-0 Barcelona doesn't happen without fans, bro. That I know, and Sesh knows that. Or I'm telling for us, like we can always
point to the other extra dimension to our like.
True. Our football is correct. Our
fans give us a lot of strength, more passion for our players, more energy to our players during our games. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, but.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. See, there is always going to be exceptions. You can still point a Bayern or a City to me and tell me, bro, no fans, no problem. They're still doing it. But that's each to its own. That's all I'm saying. And my only point is cut him some slack for this season. It is not right to like question his position at the club after what we are going through, like losing your best player for the best part, losing your captain. Allison was out non-stop. Like, have we ever had a said like we don't go like 2 weeks straight with without any problems?
But
There is always some issue.
this
No,
was bound to happen after our owners sacked all our physios and bought in physios from Man City and Arsenal. This was bound to happen. Every physio that we have sacked, we sacked so many physios this season, and everyone has gone taken to their Twitter handles and said it's due to the lack of investment. They have asked them to take a pay cut. The Jose Luis and I don't remember the other guy's name, but yeah, I remember only
owners
Jose
are
Luis.
miserable, AG. Yeah. I think like
Like
I'll
this was
never
bound to
argue
happen.
with you
How
on
can
that. They're
you
miserable.
sack all our physios and expect not to have an injury crisis? This is just absurd.
Yeah. No, there's good points on both sides. And honestly, I think, I think I wouldn't. So personally, my thing is I agree with Aditya. I don't think we can question his place at the club. But I think questioning him for decisions that he makes, I think that part should be done, because I think,
Perfect.
that should add
See,
some degree of pressure to his job.
Yes, that's
yeah,
what I
think
wanted to add
it's
some
not
degree of
something like
pressure to his job. My admiration for Thomas Tuchel obviously wanted Klopp out at that moment. After that, it was just hearsay because of all his stupid decisions that he used to keep making. But otherwise,
no.
yeah,
See,
but he needs
I'm
to
telling
have
you,
at least some pressure on his job.
everything,
Then at least he might start changing something. At least I feel like every manager who is
see,
pressurized on a job
I'll tell you
tries to do
something.
something
I'll tell you
different.
something.
Like Klopp is a really good manager who can change things up, and he's played different formations. Like he's played a completely different formation at Dortmund. He also played a 4-2-3-1 here. He's played a 4-4-2 against West Ham during 17-18. He's played so many other formations, but ever since this injury crisis, he's been sticking to that strict 4-3-3 that we always play. That has brought him success over the last 2 years. What I feel is giving him some pressure. Managers like this might think to keep their job. They might change some things in our lineup, not the same lineup that's been failing week in and week out. He might start something at least that would give a boost for a season and make us finish top four. That's my only
AG,
dream.
one
My
thing
dream is
is
not to get Klopp
see,
out. Like I'm not exact. I don't really want like Klopp out of the team. I'm not questioning him. I'm not doing anything. But he needs to be pressurized at least to change something. He can't keep playing the same game, same midfield, same 4-3-3, same tactics. Get beaten by Fulham at Anfield 6 games in a row at Anfield. We have lost, and he hasn't changed anything. I just want everything to change, because even if there is some pressure, he might start thinking better. Like every manager who's been pressurized, I feel after they've have this pressure, they change something at least from the lineup, which might bring a positive, which might start bringing us positive results. That's why I feel Klopp should be pressurized. That's just my
first of
dream, that
all,
we just change something
no.
and get positive results if he's pressurized.
No, I'll tell you something. First of all, that's what you dream. Now let's talk absolute reality. FSG is never putting any pressure on Klopp. They know that there is not a single soul out there who's going to work miracles like he's done. Like working with this chutia budget that they give, no one's going to do it, bro. I'm telling you, it's like Klopp is never getting thrown out by the owners. That much I can assure to you, first of all. And what I'm saying is like they're not going to pressurize him, bro. Like and do you really think Klopp needs someone from the top to pressurize him for him to change things? No, not really. And see, I'm telling you, he was stubborn. 2 years we got the success, all good. But then Linders and Klopp came out saying that it's time we become unpredictable. It's like they also know that they need to shaken things up, and that was one of the major reasons why we got Thiago. So what I'm saying is, like, he also knows that we need to be unpredictable on certain, and that's why we also made these good signings in Thiago and Jota. Okay. My only thing is he's not been able to go for it because he's really not having those sort of players for him to like where he has a Virgil van Dijk at the back. So now he can experiment with the midfield with Thiago, Naby, Fabinho. No, half the time it's been the case of us playing Fabinho and Henderson at the back. So he's naturally going to play as all his love babies and James Milner and Gini Wijnaldum playing game week in and week out, and he's going to go for the safe game. Like I can understand your point. I think I've also like harped on this that I also need some sort of a difference in tactics. And AG, I'm telling you something. We did try something different. You remember there was a time in December where we did see some stats where the amount of crossing got reduced. That was painful to watch. Trent trying to whip every single
Yeah,
ball that he got
Henderson
into
trying
the
to
box.
hoof every ball and
Every
it
ball.
goes
That is all
straight to the
painful.
keeper.
Exactly. I think those things did change. I did see some stats where it was saying that we attempted as less as 8 crosses in certain games. Like he is ready to like move out from his comfort zone of 4-3-3. But I really think it needs time, and like he needs to have the right personnel for him to like do things different. And Fabinho coming back is a huge bonus for us right now in midfield. And like that's what I'm saying. Things can get better only from here. But then I really don't think it's right to question his job right now at the club, bro. No, bro. If anything, from bro, even now, like I don't know if you guys are on the same page, but at least I have this glimmer of hope of us winning the Champions League or something. Is only because it's of Jurgen Klopp. No one else. I still feel
Yeah,
okay. We
everyone still
might
has
have.
a glimmer of hope of us making top four and
Yeah,
winning the
no,
Champions
other.
League.
That's the
But
only
still,
thing I'm
that's
saying.
because of Klopp. Yeah, like that's because of his reputation, what he's done at the club, and all that. But
True, true.
he needs to stop. Like we need to be more unpredictable. Is what the teams are setting up
I
very
think we're
easily.
attempting to be unpredictable.
Injuries has stopped us from being very
True.
unpredictable, yes, but we need to like once we get back, at least I hope we start becoming more unpredictable, because teams are setting up very easily against us. Only team that was caught off guard was Sheffield. Like every other team knew what we are going to do. They set up exactly uh, like what we were going to do, and they just went on with their game and we weren't able to do anything. So I feel we need to change things up, and we've seen a lot of times that Klopp hasn't made any substitution that has changed the game a lot. It has been very rare at times. I hope he also changes that part of his game where he doesn't
Because
stick
we
to
really
his
didn't
main
have
11.
anyone edgy. The truth
No,
is
not
we
just
didn't
this
have
season.
anyone.
I'm saying even the season where we won the Premier League, there hasn't
But it
been.
worked out for us. No, in hindsight, okay, today it's fine, but it worked out.
See, as much as I don't like James Milner anywhere near the 11, but then last season when we are still leading 2-1 or something like that, I don't think there was a better option than James Milner coming off the bench and seeing out the game. Like, yeah, his substitutes have been bad this season, but then he was left with no choice but to bring James Milner. Like certain games, like he could have brought on Shaqiri, but then yeah, that aspects and all you question. I'm not even going to complain because the substitutes at Chelsea was horrendous. I was fuming to see him hook off Salah at 60 minutes. It didn't make any sense. Okay. But then just this season, I think we can cut him some slack, is what I'm saying, because we have had some unreal injuries, bro.
When
And
do we
it's been
start?
mad.
I think
no,
if he
no, I
continues
think
with this, we can start questioning him a lot. But for like, this shouldn't be a precedent for any other manager who wins this at the club. You can't go like any other manager of a club. Like for example, we bring in like Gerrard. He's a legend of our club. He finishes second for say, like finishes second or finishes first, wins us the title. The next season he goes eighth, and finishing a season in eighth is something that can set a club back 10 years. It's not clubs like Chelsea who have so much money can finish eighth, bring in, put in 200, 300 million into one transfer window, change them into champions. But it's not the case with our owners. Like finishing eighth can set us back 10 years. It's not the case with Klopp because he's a really good manager. Yes, I get it. But finishing eighth can put us back 10 years. Any club finishing eighth can put them back 10 years. You can see Arsenal where they are now. Like finishing sixth put them back 10 years and they're just recovering from that Wenger era still. So
definitely,
I
guys.
think,
This yeah. Sorry. Just finish that
yeah.
off, and then
Yeah, I think we should like this. We can cut Klopp some slack, but another eighth place finish from any manager should be questioned. Even if Klopp with another, even next season, if he have more injuries and he still finishes below fourth, I think we need to start questioning him.
My only point is, bro, all this talk of any other manager, bro, that's what, bro. Any other manager, yeah, you question. All your examples that you give is Mikel Arteta, bro. Who's Mikel Arteta in front of Jurgen Klopp? I have no clue. Didn't read only. I have no clue who that guy is. Okay. My only thing is it's Jurgen Klopp. That's why you don't question it. And he's your best option. He's still, bro, AG, somewhere now before hitting the bed, you'll have this hope that you can win the Champions League. And there's only one reason for it. And you know it's only Klopp. Okay. And any other manager, yeah, bro, they'll get questioned. Like, first of all, Ole or Arteta are never going to do a Champions League and Premier League in 12 months. That much I can assure you. Okay. A pressure at Chelsea or, I mean, not Chelsea, Arsenal or United and Tottenham is not the same as the pressure that what we are going through right now. Like there's no pressure only for us. And like, yeah, see, even our fans, I tell you, the mindset is I won't really question. They are not going to question him, bro, because you're having some mad success over the 2 years, and it was only kind of, even assuming there was completely zero COVID situation. Also, I expected us to not go again this 99 points season. I never expected us to go. See, you see, even
you also didn't expect us to be 8th, right? That's what I'm saying.
But then, see, I would have never expected us to be 8th if all this Van Dijk, Henderson and all were fit, or rather not being out for these long-term injuries. But now we have lost them on all long-term injuries, and we have not really had it. Like bro, Sadio Mane not being in form, I don't know how can you build it on Jurgen Klopp, I'll never know.
Yeah, no, there's definitely problems other than Jurgen Klopp also at the club this time.
Exactly. And see, there were games where I felt like, okay, he did his part. I couldn't question Klopp, but then the players didn't turn up. It happens. Even
absolutely.
For them, they also like literally they are coming back on a huge 2 years, bro. 196 points is mad, and one Champions League run. The Champions League run was again from like, what to say? They were like again coming back from another Champions League defeat. See, it's been good 2 years. This year, I'm cutting them some slack. I'm not going to judge them overall. Just somehow get the top 4, because that's going to be really, really important for us. Champions League, distant dream, but somewhere I'm getting that hope after seeing yesterday's performance and players like Fabinho coming back into his best position. But yeah, I think we can make an overall judgment on him only when things are going normal and him messing it up.
Absolutely. Right. We're going to finish it off with one thing. Wolves coming up next at Molineux away from Anfield. So maybe that's a good thing these days. Guys, predictions for Wolves. And then, of course, we have the international break before Arsenal. So Let's start with Wolves.
So I think against Wolves, we might do a good job with so many people coming back from injury. Fabinho coming back from injury. Jota having a couple of games in his belt. I think we might do a really better job than what we did against Fulham, against Wolves. I think we can get the win, but it'll be a difficult game considering Nuno is going to play a back 5 and everyone's going to just be behind the ball and defend. And Wolves also haven't been great this season after the Raul Jimenez injury. And I think it's something that we need to capitalize on. They're not in a really good moment like us. So I think we also need to capitalize on that. And we have to get a result against Wolves for our top 4 hopes at least.
Adi, your predictions for the Wolves game?
Hopefully we carry on the momentum. I think that's very important. Like AJ said, we have got Fabinho back now into the midfield. I just hope now see, I'll tell you something. Klopp better sticks on to Fabinho in the midfield and not again put him back somewhere at the back and just let's not just mess up. We know what's giving us points. We know what's giving us good game. So just stick to the same 11 or just rotate any of the midfielder with Naby, because Naby is terrific when he plays. And yeah, hopefully just get the 3 points. Let it be even the dirtiest of 3 points for all I care. I just don't mind. But then somehow get the win and just hope for some other team to drop points this week.
I hope Klopp plays his strongest 11, because we also have this international break coming up and all these South American players and players like Nat Phillips aren't going to go on an international break. So all these players, it's fine if you're playing 3 games in a week. I hope these players play so that this is our strongest lineup. I hope that Klopp doesn't bench them for some international games. And
no, I don't think Klopp will do that. I don't think Klopp will bench anyone for the international break. And I think, a lot of players, like you said, are going to stay back at Liverpool, but they're not going to go away with their countries. So that's going to help, obviously. So they'll get a little bit of time off also if they need to. But that's been a very heated debate on hashtag Klopp out between Arvind and Adithya. So thank you guys. We're going to come to an end in this episode. Thank you guys so much for following the podcast, for all the support. We're almost hitting 3K at this point on a fair few episodes now. So just, pass the pod on to your friends if they're Liverpool fans. If they're not Liverpool fans, I'm sure people enjoy listening to Liverpool fans whine about everything these days. But yeah, that's going to bring us to a close, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this podcast, enjoying everything that comes out with it. I've got more stuff planned next year, and yeah, I guess that should do nicely. Wherever you are, stay safe. I would say stay indoors, but I think that time is gone. But yeah, stay safe, wear masks, stay wherever you are safely, and have a great week, have a great weekend, and I'll see you back again after the Wolves game. So goodbye and take care.